All right, so let's do number 1 of the mass-to-mass stoichiometry problems, okay? So all the equations given for the first 4 problems are already balanced for you, okay? So you don't have to worry about getting it balanced, but before you can do any sort of calculations or conversions, you have to make sure that the reference equation is balanced, right? If not, your numbers are going to be whack. So number 1, we already have a balanced equation. It shows lithium hydroxide plus hydrogen bromide yields or produces lithium bromide and water. And the question is asking, if you start with 10 grams of lithium hydroxide, how many grams of lithium bromide will be produced? Okay, so again, we did this in the Zoom call. So hopefully this is a good refresher for those that showed up, and hopefully this will be a great way for the folks that weren't able to make it to kind of get up to speed on how to do this. Okay, so let me see. Lithium. Is this really dark? This is kind of a lame blue. I'm sorry. Just gotta keep it simple. Easy breezy. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. So let me erase that. Okay, let's try it with a black marker this time. So lithium hydroxide, beautiful, is gonna be our starting component. And I'm saying we have specifically 10 grams of the stuff, okay? So we have 10 grams of our lithium hydroxide, okay? So it's kind of like the lab we did where we dumped, different types of compounds onto a scale and measured it, right? So this is like Miss Green just has this lying around, and she puts 10 grams of it onto a scale. The question is asking that we get to, let's scooch all the way down this way, that we convert and find out how many grams of our products, okay, specifically lithium bromide, is that, okay? So this is our destination, this is our starting point, okay? This is like Tampa, and if we wanted to get to Dallas, that's Dallas, okay? So we gotta find some way to fill in this middle part. And this is where that problem solving comes in handy, okay? So think of it just like a big puzzle that has very specific steps. And if you'd like, you can write down the steps in which how you get from, for instance, grams to grams of something else, or from moles to grams and vice versa. For Miss Green, this is how my brain works. I'm thinking, what is in my chemistry toolbox that will help me go step by step to transform our starting amount, or starting substance rather, into a substance that is technically our product, okay? So first what I'll do is I'm gonna go from grams of lithium hydroxide to moles of lithium hydroxide. And if you remember from our little dance, the divide, multiply, how could you forget, right? We are going to use our molar mass, but specifically molar mass of lithium hydroxide, okay? So lithium hydroxide, when we add that all together, I have my little calculator. I don't know if you can see that. Haha. Okay, so lithium, I look at my magical periodic table, and I see lithium has a molar mass of 6.94. And this is either going to be reported in AMUs or grams per mole. So it makes sense, we're talking about grams, that our units are going to be the grams per mole. So I have my 6.94 for lithium. Now I'll add my 16 for oxygen and my 1.008 for hydrogen, okay? So this gives me 23.948, okay? And this is grams per mole, okay? Let me do it underneath there. So I have 23.948 grams of lithium hydroxide per 1 mole of lithium hydroxide. So now that we're getting into a little bit more sort of intricate calculations, it's really important that you do label okay, what substance it is that you're working with. And so we have this conversion factor, right, because we're now relating grams to moles, but we're just trying to get, how my brain works is if whatever is starting does not match what I'm trying to end with, I'm just trying to get rid of it, right? So how we can use this chemistry tool, right, from our toolbox of skills that we have developed, I can insert a conversion factor that will cancel out my grams, okay? So if you don't remember your divide, multiply, little dance in song, you can just think of it that way. How can I arrange our molar mass so that the grams, which we don't want, of lithium hydroxide are canceled out? So the way I'm going to arrange it is I'm going to put the grams on the bottom, right? So my grams can cancel out. Does that make sense? So I have my 23.948 grams of lithium hydroxide over 1 mole of lithium hydroxide. Okay, beautiful. So what's going to happen to my grams of lithium hydroxide, you ask? Oh, they're going to cancel. It's going bye-bye. It is Dunzo, Washington. Okay, so my units cancel out. What I'm left with is moles of lithium hydroxide. And you ask, is that correct? You look back at your destination. Okay, that is not it, Chief. So now we need to find some way to relate 1 mole of lithium hydroxide to moles of lithium bromide. And so this is where our original balanced equation comes into play. If you go back to your homework, which I will bring up, our original balanced equation is going to read LiOH plus HBr yields our LiBr plus H2O. More like H2O, snap, this is so much fun. Okay, so I want to create a conversion factor that's going to relate how many moles of this guy to how many moles of this guy, okay? And to do that, I'm going to skirt right in front of those substances to see what the coefficient is. Again, just like we did in our last problem, since there is a number omitted, it's implied that this is a 1 coefficient. So we have a 1-to-1 molar ratio, okay? So what I'll do is I'll slide this on down, okay? Is I'm gonna put that in there, okay? So I now have 1 mole of this guy, again, to 1 mole of this guy. So I want to arrange this in such a way to cancel my moles of lithium hydroxide, because that is not it, Chief. That is not what we want. So as a result, I'm going to erase our destination for just a moment. I promise it's still going to be there, okay? That's the end goal, okay? I'm going to put on my conversion factor, I'm going to say 1 mole of my lithium hydroxide for every 1 mole, okay, of my lithium bromide, okay? This is straight from our balanced equation. If the coefficients in front of the species of interest, right, were different, say 2 or 3, that's what you would put instead, okay? But since there's nothing, it's that implied 1, so it's 1-to-1. Our lithium hydroxide is going to get canceled, okay? Our moles of lithium hydroxide. So now we're left with moles of lithium bromide, okay? Still not quite it. So we have now this sort of extra step. So now, what I'll finna do is we'll continue down yonder, okay? So let me repeat our last step. It's our 1 lithium bromide over 1 mole of our lithium hydroxide. And from our previous step, our moles of lithium hydroxide are done so, okay? So now we're trying to get from moles of lithium bromide to grams of lithium bromide. And again, think of your little song, the divide, multiply, divide, multiply. My neighbors probably think I'm absolutely crazy because I have a family window open right now, but they can think whatever they like because YOLO. Am I right? Am I right? I think I'm right. So I'm going to find the molar mass for lithium bromide. Okay, so all I do to find that is pull up my handy dandy periodic table. Again, I'm going to look at lithium. And lithium, she has a molar mass of 6.94, okay? And now I'm going to be adding my bromide, okay? So this is plus the 79.90, okay? That's associated with bromide, okay? So I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator and calculate what this be. Okay, so I have my 6.94 plus my 79.90, and I get a whopping 86.84. Keep in mind, this is grams per mole. Okay, so how I'm going to situate this is my moles need to be on bottom. So I'm actually just going to write that molar mass as is. Okay, so I'll say times, and on top will be our number that we just calculated, 86.84 grams of lithium bromide, okay, over 1 mole of our lithium bromide. From now on, you have to pronounce lithium bromide as if you're Scottish, okay? Okay. I'm glad we clarified that. So, as you can guess, okay, our moles of lithium bromide will cancel moles of lithium bromide, so those are gone. And now what we are left with, that's supposed to be like fanfare music, because we did a thing, guys, we did a thing. We're left with 86.84 grams of lithium bromide, which, if you recall, our destination most certainly was grams of lithium bromide, okay? So we can finally put our equal sign. I know this is a lot of setup, okay? But if you practice enough with these equations and you can kind of see the patterns and the different steps that you take, it's going to be so incredibly easy, okay? So if you remember, when we do our dimensional analysis, we are going to multiply by everything on top, okay, and divide by everything that's on the bottom. And so I do want to kind of draw attention. Let me see if I can get a slightly different color to highlight this for you. I don't know if the yellow is going to be sufficient, but let's take a look. So this step, okay, she's showing up, she's here. She's arrived to the party. So this step is the same as this step, okay? I just repeated it down here so you can kind of see how those units are canceling out, okay? So in actuality, we just came up with 2 conversion factors, 2 intermediates to get us to our final, or 3, 1, 2, 3 steps to get us to our final answer, okay? So beginning at the top, all the way from the top, take it from the top, boys. Quarantine is really getting to me, I don't know if you can tell. So I have my calculator, okay? So I'm gonna verbalize what I'm doing right now in my calculator, okay? So I'm gonna multiply all the tops, okay? So I have 10 times 1, but big brain time, that's still gonna be 10, so we're not gonna actually put that in our calculator. This is the same step, and then times 86.84. And I'm gonna press enter. Then, take it all the way to the top. Technically, this is over 1. You're not going to worry about it. So we're now going to divide by 23.948. Okay. I'm going to press enter. Then you say divide by 1, enter. But I'm not going to do that because I know it's going to be the same number that is currently on my screen. Okay. This is the same step, so don't worry about it. And then we're going to divide again by 1 and press enter. I'm not going to do that. Save me a little bit of time. When I look at my final answer, that's much better fanfare. My final answer was 36.26 grams of lithium bromide, okay? So this is pretty significant. This is pretty cool, okay? So this is our final answer. This is pretty cool. Based on how much of a compound we start off with, we can predict, okay, theoretically, how much mass of one of our products we should have, right? So this is pretty cool. Okay, again, it's kind of like a science crystal ball that we can look into. We can make a prediction. Unfortunately, I cannot predict when this pandemic is going to end, if only. Okay. All right, let's do one more.